voice of women in sport.
Hello and welcome to Season 3, Episode 16 of The Horse Show on Wisp Sports Radio. I'm Chris Stafford. And I'm back at the World Equestrian Games for Day 2 of coverage here. And team dressage medals were decided today with the gold medal going to Germany and Team USA winning the silver ahead of Team GB. It was a very, very exciting competition because it came down to the very last combination, Laura Graves and Verdades, to either push Sweden off the bronze medal position or sneak above them and get between Team GB and Germany. And they did just that in a very, very exciting finale to today's competition. So there was also the eventing dressage today as well, and that took place in the other arena. So we've had a very full day of dressage one way or the other. And later on in the program, I'm going to be previewing the cross-country course with Bonnie Mosser. She's going to be joining me later on in the program to preview the course and tell us what she thinks about the event so far. And we've also got a post-ride interview with Isabell Werth, who topped the competition today with a fantastic performance on 84% with Bella Rose, and that was a very emotional ride for her, and I talked to her just a few moments ago. But we also have a full preview of the dressage with Heather Blitz. My old friend Heather is going to be joining us in just a moment to tell us what she thought about the team dressage today here at Tryon International Equestrian Centre. It was a very exciting day's competition, as I say, one way or the other. So let's start with Heather and hear what she has to say about the dressage today, and then we'll hear from Isabell, and after that we'll talk eventing with Bonnie Mosser. Well, we've just completed the team dressage here, and the USA won silver medal. It came right down to the final rider, Laura Graves and Verdades, to clinch that silver medal, to push not only Sweden off the medal podium at that point, but also Team GB, slotted them down and squeezed in between them and Germany to win the team silver. It all came down to Laura, as I say, but I've got somebody with me who knows a lot more about the intricacies of the dressage test than I do, and that's Heather Blitz, my old mate Heather, who's here actually coaching Annie Peavy, a para dressage rider, so she'll be here all next week as well, so we'll catch up with you again, Heather. But for now, let's talk about this team dressage. How about that then, Team Silver USA?
Yeah, go us. That's really exciting, super exciting. Laura really handled the pressure and really put it all like pedal to the metal and did it for us.
And it really came down to putting a lot of pressure on her. Obviously, as the anchor, that's her job, right?
That is, yep, and she's no stranger to that. I think she has so much experience, and especially with that particular horse, and she knows what it feels like and not fazed by it, and she did her job.
Well, let's talk about what happened before her, because we saw Isabell Werth, the queen of dressage, come in and do a beautiful test on that mare Bella Rose, and at that point we didn't think Song Rothersberger could be beaten because he did a beautiful test. You must have seen that too. Did you think that when Isabell came in that she had that test in her?
Absolutely. Yeah, I did, and I didn't get to see Sanka this morning because I was on my way driving over here on my way from training camp with the para riders. It took me a couple hours to drive over this morning, so I didn't get to watch the beginning of it of the class this morning. I saw a little bit of it online, and what a fantastic horse that is with Sanka. Hadn't seen it before. Can't wait to see it again in the special tomorrow. So, but Isabell is who she is, and we all know that. And I had no doubts that she could pull it off. And I saw her in Aachen with Bella Rose, and Isabell's going to do nothing but improve every single day that she sits on a horse. So I was expecting what she put out there today, and it was just like goosebumps. How much of a perfectionist she is, and it's just so inspiring to watch her ride.
And she is a super perfectionist, but you could also see how much that meant to her, Heather. I mean, I don't know if you saw on the TV there, on the big screen, she was so overcome with emotion, and I think because she had got the mare to this point, for her, and I've spoken to her a number of times, but most recently, after World Cup, I think it was, and she said it wasn't about the medals anymore, it's about producing the horses one after the other to this level. So you could feel the weight of the emotion in her.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I can't imagine that it would ever get old producing horses. And I mean, she is just proving herself more and more every time she comes out that she is the best at that of anyone ever in dressage history, producing horses over and over and over. And she picks horses of all types and all kinds, and she just is such a meticulous, amazing rider that she just keeps doing it, and that wouldn't get old. I mean, she just keeps proving herself. And every stage of life you get into, you ask yourself questions like, well, am I going to keep doing this? Like, do I change what I do? And she's chosen to keep doing exactly what she's been doing, and she's still got it in her, and I can't see an end to it.
And I mean, you have to make a favourite, obviously, for individual medal on Sunday, don't you think?
Did I have to make a favorite? You want to know what my favorite is? I mean, there's certain horses in the class that I would probably pick. I think Deep Impact might be my favorite horse in the class. But I mean, if I was going to bet money on it, I think it would be Isabell winning the gold tomorrow.
Okay, well, we're not going to place a bet on that then. We both agree that she's got it in her with this mare. Just to sit. I mean, but the other thing, Heather, and you know this, when you start off on day one and put in that kind of performance, you've got a lot out of the horse on day one, and you've got still a long week ahead. You've got two more days of competition, and it makes it a long week in this heat and humidity that we have here in Tryon. Do you think that would impact any one of the horses, particularly Bella Rose?
Well, no one is like, no one can avoid that completely. I mean, they're all, going to suffer for if it gets hotter, if it gets a lot of rain from the hurricane. I mean, it's all going to be an impact on every horse and human. Some have more experience and have lived through similar things or worse and know how to do it. Of course, I don't know anything about the horse in a personal, very close level because I've never been around her. I don't know. But just with Isabell's record, you can probably assume that she's going to know what to do about it. I just came off of a national championship with my horse, Quatero, and had a similar thing. I had 3 tests with 1 day in between, 1 day before the freestyle. And it was cool weather and nice for the first couple of days. And then we had a day off, and then the freestyle was on Saturday, and Saturday got extremely hot. After 10 minutes, my horse was panting like a dog. So everybody has to sort of make an educated guess on what to do with your horse on the off day. Do you work them very much? Do you work them very lightly? And it's always a guess. Even with however much experience you have, you still have to guess a little bit. And, my horse on the day off was really giving me the impression he really wanted to work hard. So I didn't want to put him back in his stall with a bunch of energy in his body that he wouldn't be able to sleep well. I wanted him to rest well after a nice exercise. And then the next day, for the freestyle, I realized it was too much work, but it was still a matter of trying to do what I thought was best in the moment. And it was a guess. I was a tiny bit wrong, still did well in the freestyle with second place and won the championship. But I think everybody's in the same position. You all have to read the forecast and know your horse and try to be in the moment and feel what's right as much as you can. And then if you're wrong, you just have to deal with what what the implications are. So, but I think she's got enough in her to know exactly what to do for the next few days.
Well, congratulations, by the way. Lovely to see you win a national championship again.
Thank you. It was very, very fun. My horse was the best he's ever been on those 3 days.
Awesome. Okay, let's talk about some of the other combinations here. Heather, you've seen them compete now for a number of years. And you know the riders, obviously, but you know some of these young horses that are coming up as well. Let's just look at the U.S. performance. So, with Adrian, who's maturing as a rider all the time. Now she no longer has Wizard, but she's doing so well with this horse, obviously. And also Casey Perry-Glass, who stepped up again. She was in Rio and stepped up again today. And then, of course, Stefan, who always has a hare and a spare in the stable, right? And he's always got something else he can produce for the team. Just give us your views on those other team performances.
For the U.S. Well, unfortunately, I didn't get to see Stefan's ride at all. I did see him I didn't see him in Aachen either. For just unfortunate reasons, I haven't been able to catch him in the ring, but I know he did well at Aachen, and I mean, he also is another rider with so much experience. He's brought so many horses along, and he's got 2 super talented, beautiful, amazing horses in Stupin Casper and Rosamund. I have no doubt that they're just going to keep developing and getting stronger and being super top horses and staying with us for a number of championships to come. Always super confident with Stefan. Adrian and Salvino also, they have a great system. They have everything in place to continue the progress. I saw him a little bit during the season in Wellington, and super impressed with him. I got to Wellington. It's hard to watch a lot because that's my home turf, and I show my horse, and then I leave the showgrounds to go home and do all the rest of the horses and teach lessons. So I don't really get to watch a whole lot. But I saw a little bit of him in Wellington, and was very impressed. So I was excited to come. Then the next time I saw him was at Aachen again in July, and very impressive. And he just keeps getting better and better. And so also just as much confidence in them and their future. And I know Casey and Dublé have always been impressive, and they just keep coming up. Like, they just have like a second wind in them, and they're really pulling the team along too. And then we've got Laura. So I'd like to see that we have some younger horses also coming along, because not everybody on the team has young horses. And we need a deeper bench. We need some reserve horses and some B teams and C teams that are going to be able to come along and fill shoes when the time is right. I hope my horse is one of those, but we need more of that. And what's nice about this games now is that with the medal, we have secured a spot for the Tokyo Olympics for teams. So now the pressure's off for our qualification needs at Pan Am's. And I think that we can send a little bit less experienced horses to Pan Am's and get them some experience, so we can start getting a deeper bench. I think that's what we really need as a country. So we don't just take like the ones that can go, but we also have a B team that could also go. But we need to start developing that. And this year Pan Am's, or next year Pan Am's in Lima, is going to be a good opportunity for that.
Yeah, it's interesting you point that out, because it was about Olympic qualification, and it does take the pressure off those Pan Am teams. You've been on Pan Am teams, you know what that's like, and it is an important, if you like, breeding ground for climbing up to the Worlds and Olympics next cycle around. So now, going forward now, while we're at WEG, we've got 2 more rounds, of course, Grand Prix Special now, and then, of course, the freestyle on Sunday. Any predictions, any overall impressions of how it's gone so far and how that would inform how it's going to go for the rest of the week? Just putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, like how I think it's going to end up for the individual medal.
Yeah.
I'd put my money on Isabell again and Laura in second. And after that, I don't know. I think it's kind of a open question. I don't know. The third place could go many ways, I think. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay, that's playing it safe, because I think that bronze medal is pretty much up for grabs, isn't it, if you look at existing form?
Yeah, I think it is. I know who I would like to have it, just because of the particular horse that I like, maybe that I mentioned earlier. I don't know if that's likely as far as how it's going in the scoring, but I also like Daniel Bachmann and Zach a lot. I think that's super impressive with his tempi changes and his extensions. I'm so impressed by those. He's a little bit stronger in his piaffe, but we could get the list out and go through like who I think what strengths and weaknesses are in each combination. But it's basically, I think the bronze is up for grabs.
All right, give me your overall impressions of how this facility has improved, because you've competed here quite a bit now since it's been maturing as a venue. It's become very much the go-to place, but of course for these games, it's been on steroids to get ready.
Yeah, they had 2 years notice, right, since the 18 months total. So, to put that on any facility that is brand new, I think is extraordinary. To think anyone could even say yes to that challenge in the first place. I have definitely loved competing here the 3 times that I have. I love the area, the facility, just the show management's always good. But to put on this sort of an event, it is like putting it on steroids, making it bionic, and it's not completely finished, but so far so good. I think with the weather issues that have come up, nobody can be blamed for that individually. It just happens. So there's a lot of disappointing things that happen with weather conditions, with the endurance. I know that's going through the spectator crowds, like the talk about the endurance cancellations and just how the rain's going to be a factor on Friday or Saturday and Sunday, that they don't know if the freestyle is going to be able to be held because of the rain forecast on Sunday. So there's a lot of weather disgruntlement at this. But, I just got here today, so I've only been here half a day, and I sat myself in the stands and watched the Grand Prix the whole time. So I haven't really been around to see all of the improvements since I was here in September for the test event. I mean, in, what was that, April for the test event. Yeah. But, I mean, I have to say, I'm impressed that in that short of a time that even what is done, because it's just monumental to think about all of the layers of preparation for this, from building roads to security and caterers and transportation and parking. And, I mean, it's just the number of things that had to be organized and put into place, plus building things, is just nobody could wrap their head around the whole thing.
Well, they pulled it off today, and the Team USA won the silver, so we've got something to celebrate tonight, and I know you will in your camp as well. And we're looking forward to the para-dressage next week, so we'll catch up with you then, if not before, because I know you'll be here throughout the week. Heather, can we talk again?
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's fantastic. Well, that's it for now. And Heather, I really appreciate you stopping by, because it's always good to catch up and get your perspective, and it looks like, we might have more medals to celebrate as the week unfolds, but... that's it for now. I think the press conference is about to start, so we better jump down there. Isabell, a huge congratulations. You made me cry after that performance, and I know you could hardly contain yourself.
Yeah, that's right. It was very special. The horse was fantastic, and I was hoping that I could bring her back in that way, and it worked, and that makes it also so special and very emotional for me.
You put so much faith and belief in this mare, haven't you, in her whole life now, with the setback and then coming back to you. So in terms of your career and all the medals, I've lost count of all the medals. I know you don't count them anymore. But in terms of the performances that you've had with her and with the other horses at this level, what does this mean? Put it in context of your career.
Yeah, this is very special. Like I said, this mare is my really dream horse, and it takes me a long time to bring her back again. And I think not a lot of people believed in her anymore, and so it was maybe a bit surprising that she came back this year. And it was just a dream that it worked so well, competition by competition. It was a slowly start in Fritzens in June, and then step by step, week by week, she became more competitive, stronger, and so that was really great to see. And here it was totally the highlight today, and I think to show in this way and to let her shine in this way, everybody can understand why I decided and we were hoping to take her.
Well, finally, one last question. In terms of what you need to do now, what will you work on before the Grand Prix Special, already tomorrow, and then through the week? What do you feel you need to fine-tune?
The most difficult thing is to keep her in that way now. It's nothing more necessary just to keep her in that way, and I hope that it was a long day for her today with prize giving, doping, and whatever we all had now, and she should calm down now. And then tomorrow morning we will keep her. We'll take a little ride, and then we will go into the special and see what happens.
Do it all again.
Yeah, but that would be the best.
Isabell, thank you so much, and a huge congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, with me now is Bonnie Mosso, who's actually training one of the riders here at the World Equestrian Games, and she's going to walk us around the course. I know I walked it yesterday, but Bonnie, you're going to let us know what you think to the course here at Tryon. But first of all, tell us about the rider that you're coaching.
I'm coaching a Brazilian rider, Nilson Moreira de Silva. He rides Magnum's Martini, and this is his first World Games, and this is his first 4-star/3-star event.
Are there any girls on the Brazilian team?
No girls.
Darn, okay. All right, well, let's move right along and go around the course then, because it was pretty hot and sticky when I walked it yesterday, and you've just walked it again just now, right? Was it your first look around?
It was my first look around. From the start, I see that Mark takes us into maybe going into the second minute, and we've only jumped 2 jumps. So it's quite quick at the beginning, a good galloping course right at the beginning, and then he sets up the first question with a skinny at the exit fence, and this is where things are going to start spreading apart. The rider's going to think they can be up on time, and then the questions start coming. It's a CCI track right from the get-go, and then it will turn into more of a CIC track in the middle of the course, where the questions are coming at you a little quicker, a little more demanding footwork. So.
Talk about the terrain, though, because it's up and down. It's new footing in many places, right? And they haven't had the turf really established. I mean, the golf course is one thing, but elsewhere we've seen mudslides, and with all the rain that we're having, it could be pretty slippery on Saturday. Well, hopefully, if we don't get too much more rain. But talk about the footing for us, because I don't think there's many meters on the flat at all, are there?
No, there aren't, but I do believe that footing deteriorates when there are turns, and there's a few questions that are on turns, but it's flat, So, and most of those areas have good established turf already. I think the straight galloping up where they had just put sod down, where it hasn't been established, the horses are just galloping straight, and the jumps are on a straight line. So it should hold up. I mean, it might get a little deep and slick, but it's not. I was more concerned about the turns when the footing can move away from the horse's feet. So.
That's true, of course. And it is a beautiful course, and it's beautifully presented, beautiful fences. I mean, really, everything is just fabulous to look at. If only, it had been established a bit longer and they had time on their side, but they didn't. We're here. And the water complex, the big one in the middle there, that's just beautiful. What do you think to the fences around it?
The water complex is amazing. Again, it has a boat theme to it, and it has waterfalls coming off the bank as you're jumping out of the water complex. There's a lot to look at, and for the riders, they do have to make a decision there, which line they're going to take. I think it goes all the way up to maybe letter F. G. There you go. I was like, wait, we were all looking at everything and going A, B, okay, now over there C, and it can be complicated, and you really have to know your line in that major water. It's beautiful down there, though. The design and the jumps being built beautifully with, what is there, a bee out there? Yeah, there's a bee. And then the tortoise, and it is gorgeous. Mark's done a great job, and his team.
And Eric Bull, of course, the course builder, we have to give him a shout out. Because I talked to him recently on the USEA podcast. Him and Mark had talked about the course and the work they've put into it. A lot of portable fences, but a tremendous amount of design. I'm just curious, though, in terms of the combinations and with it being so undulating and everything's not on the level. It's got undulating one way or the other. And the camber too, though, Bonnie.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that those questions that you'll see more in the middle of the course, where I would talk about it being more of a CIC track, that the experienced horses that can really hold a line, and the riders that are very secure with their partnership with their horse to hold those lines down to that. There's a giant corner right in the middle of the track, and it comes up hard and fast, and then on to another, 3 strides to a second corner, and I mean, you're going to see some really great rides through there, and then you're going to see other riders taking the long route where they're going to jump 3 corners in a row off of 3 strides each, and it's going to ride nice. I just think the terrain definitely will cause horses and riders to drift a little bit in their line, and like I said, if you're here, your horse should go straight. The withers need to go between the flags.
No, that's absolutely right. There's no chicken routes here, and I think the biggest question, of course, is that last minute there with the hill. That's quite a pull. I mean, that checked me a couple of times coming up there. What did you think to that?
It sure did, and I do have to say that when you're traveling up the hill does have some steps to it, so you're galloping up straight up, and then you'll have a little bit more of a level area where there'll be a jump or a combination of jumps that are lower. And I think Mark's very clever with that the way the jumps are designed, that if the horse is slightly fatiguing, the design of the jumps will sort of push them back onto their hocks and jump them up into the air versus them being more fly fences. And he's quite clever that way, so that the horses can stay nimble even though they're fatiguing. And the riders know that it's a big hill and they're going to have to read their horses all the way into that NASCAR finish line.
NASCAR finish line, right, exactly. That's a good way to put it. And it is about saving your horse for that last minute. With the heat and the humidity, even with the present conditions though, Bonnie, and that pull, I don't know what the optimum time is yet, we haven't heard that, but I would imagine it's going to be really testing to get anybody inside the time.
I believe so too. I think it's going to be quite hard. I think that a lot of the riders are going to try to get as quick and close to that place before they hit the hill and just feel their horses up the hill and see where they're going to be.
Absolutely. And Bonnie is in demand here. Just remind everybody, Bonnie, I mean, you rode at 4-star level, but you don't compete at 4-star anymore. You're mainly coaching, are you?
Yes, I am mainly coaching. I have a preliminary horse right now that I'm riding, and I dream a little bit still, but I really enjoy the coaching and being on the ground and just staying in touch with it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're glad that you're able to come here, and if anybody's out there for you want a quiz, you need to tell me, what was your career highlight? Because I'm guessing from my memory, but tell me what your career highlight was, you think.
There might be a couple. My best result was 11th at Burley, and very good dressage score going in. I had some time faults, one rail, show jumping, and finished 11th, which was fantastic. An alternate for both the WEG and the Olympics, and I've won the national championships here in the USA two times. So.
That's a terrific CV, of course. And, when I look at the hills here and I think of Burley is undulating up and down and constantly on the turn and the camber. So Mark Phillips is really used to building on that kind of track.
I agree. And luckily, I was just at Burley, so I got to watch it up close and personal. And I believe that was one of Mark's best courses ever. It was fair, it was big, and every horse came home with confidence, and I just loved it. And I hope that he has done it here also.
Yeah, well, we can hope that, but I'm green with them because Burley is one of my favourite tracks. I watched it on Facebook Live, thankfully, but we'll see if he can, transport, what he's done at Burley onto this track. But the hill at the end there is going to be bigger than they've ever seen at Burley, obviously. So we're hoping that, the horses will at least finish a lot better than the endurance horses yesterday.
I agree. I hope so. It's definitely a team sport, and those horses and riders, they know, they've been warned, and we do have some weather coming in, and they've all been riding in the heat all week, so I think that they know their horses pretty well right now. But the footing is wet down there, and it could be a little bit heavy at times, so it's up to them.
Yeah, totally. But real quick before you go, Bonnie, you were probably out walking the course, and Julia Kowalski, she actually scored a 19 on Chipmunk. 19, I think. Right, that's got to be, well, not far. I mean, one of the best. There may be others that have reached 19 under the new scoring system. Do you know of any?
I would have said just her, right? Yeah, not many, no. And to do it at the World Games, that's very impressive. I think she came here to beat that.
And of course, she was a substitute for Mikael Young.
That's is that right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
So not a bad substitute for him.
No, not at all. Not for Germany. Exactly. No.
All right. Well, we'll see how this pans out. Of course, day 2 of eventing dressage is tomorrow. But Bonnie, thanks for stopping by. I know you're busy, but really nice to catch up with you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks to all of my guests. That was a great show, really, to get both Heather's take on the dressage, to talk to Isabell Werth as well about her performance with Bella Rose, and also to hear what Bonnie Mosser thought of the cross country and the competition heading into day 2 tomorrow of the eventing dressage. So that will be really exciting to see how that wraps up here before we get into cross country, hopefully ahead of the storm. We hope Flo doesn't get here before the cross country. That's the hope and pray here in Tryon, because we know this weather is going to come, and we would love to get the cross country done and dusted before that happens. We'll see what happens on Sunday too, and how it will impact the competition. So one day at a time here. It's been a really super day's sport, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have watched us on Facebook Live, we've been doing Facebook Live reviews of what's happening here at Tryon. So check out our Facebook page and, of course, follow us on Twitter as well at Wisp Sports. I'll be back tomorrow with more from the Tryon International Equestrian Centre in Tryon, North Carolina, with an update and review of the third day of competition here with the Grand Prix Special for the dressage and the second day of eventing dressage. So join me then, and in the meanwhile, thanks for listening. Goodbye for now.